Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're unboxing a new wheel. It's new wheel day. I've been so excited to get a new wheel. Basically it's to replace my F Pro because although I do love this wheel, the grips are just too thin at the bottom and my hands hurt after a while. Everyone's been raving on about the Bavarian SimTec Alpha and how comfortable it is, and they seem to have put a lot of thought into the design. And direct from them in Germany, the wheel, the standard edition, is £755. You've then got to add your tax onto that, which for me to the UK was £160. Your shipping is £20 to £40 roughly, depending on which shipping method that you pick. And yeah, it got here so quick. It was dispatched Wednesday and it turned up yesterday. So absolutely brilliant. The design on the box, it's very subtle. You can just see the shape of the wheel on there. On the back you got your QR codes. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks very nice. Let's get it out and then we'll see what else is in the box. So, your coiled USB cable. We have some tweezers for attaching the stickers. And the sticker sheet. So there's absolutely loads on there. That'll cover you for everything. There's loads on that, so brilliant. Okay, just get rid of the box. Right then, first impressions. That is so much more comfortable. They've added a 13-degree slope for where your thumb goes, and this feels so much more chunky. This feels absolutely, yeah, this is just what I need. Now let's have a look at the buttons. Nice tactile feel to them. A little softer than the Cube buttons and a little quieter, slightly less travel. Feel really nice. We've got 12 front-facing buttons. There's also 2 buttons on the thumb encoders, and then the rotaries click as well. The 7-way funky switches feel really nice. Fairly short travel, not much wiggle in the centre, so that's nice. Rotaries feel amazing. Little firmer to turn than the Cube ones, but again, no wiggle in the centre, you know, between the indents. They feel really nice, really solid. Yeah. Try the shifters. Yeah, shifters feel really nice. Firmer to squeeze than the Cube shifters. Cube shifters are a lot softer. They're really nice actually, these shifters. They sound relatively quiet because I dampened them with some little felt pads when I first got it. Which I'll probably do the same to this to dampen these a tiny bit. Yeah, they feel excellent. The amount of force you need to squeeze them feels similar to like Fanatec's Podium Advanced paddle modules. You know, the Fanatec shifters. Yeah, definitely a similar amount of force needed to activate them. Travel-wise, I'd say about average. Now there's not much adjustment with the shifters. You can move the paddles in and out, you know, this way, and that's about it. That's one thing the Cube wheel does really well. You can adjust everything about these shifters and the clutch paddles as well. So that's, yeah, that is a plus point of the Cube Control shifters. They are excellent. Now this came with, I added a 50mm spacer, which I'll then be attaching another spacer on the back of this before my quick release, because I have my wheelbase behind the monitor. These are, the wheel weighs in at about 1250 grams, and it's about 1270 to 1280 grams with this spacer. So you know, a very light wheel, and it does feel light. Nice and thin, and as rigid as anything else out there. There's no flex whatsoever. And yeah, I think it looks really nice. I like the gold on the thumb encoders. I think that's a nice touch. It'd look nice with the gold extension, to be honest. The thumb encoders feel amazing. They're really quiet. The indents feel so precise. You're not gonna, I'd say the amount of force to rotate these is around medium to firm. You're not going to do multiple clicks by accident with these. They're really nice. Now let's get round to the lighting. There's 112 LEDs throughout the wheel. Each button has 4 LEDs, and from what I've seen on other people's videos, they diffuse the light really well. You can't see the individual LEDs when it's all lit up. That's one thing with the cube wheel, because they've only got one LED right in the centre. They're not diffused that well, so when you turn the brightness up you can see the bulb. You know, not the end of the world, just thought I'd mention that this looks really good from what I've seen. Now, some of the features of this, they have something called adaptive beam technology. What that means is when you jump in a car, in a game, in a car, the wheel's going to know what you're in. Now these top encoders, they're labelled as TC and ABS. You can map them to do whatever you want. You don't have to use them as those two. But what happens is, if you jump in, say, the Ferrari 296 and you've got the TC set to 9, when you actually jump in the car, it will go to 9. So you know, they're multi-position switches that recognise what you're driving, which is pretty cool. Now another feature, how do I explain this? So this bottom rotary isn't your standard rotary. It's got 8 positions, and these 8 parameters light up as you press it and turn. So let's say you turn it to TC2. In their software, if you enable the multi-link, this becomes linked with the left thumb encoder. So if you've got it set to TC2, what you then do is you can rotate this to change TC2, and if you're in Le Mans Ultimate, where you've got 3 TC settings, this you can set then to be your TC3, or the slip angle. So each one of these parameters translates to 2 encoders of adjustment. You can set them to do whatever you want. So it's really, this is so well thought out, and it makes the wheel look, it's not cluttered, it's not jam-packed with too much in your face. It's really kind of clean looking. But most of all, those grips feel absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to try some extended sessions. Out of the box, this will support, you can use the Daniel Newman profiles on SimHub, which are the ones I use for everything, or you can use Bavarian's own software, which I'll go through when we get in the rig. I can't wait to try this. When I come back, we'll be in the rig and I'll go through all of its features. Okay, so I've been using the wheel now for over a week. I've used both the Bavarian's own software and I've used SimHub. I've used it on ACC, iRacing, LMU, and I've thoroughly got to grips with everything that it does now. So why don't we take a closer look at the wheel and we'll check out all the software and what you can do. Now this is the Bavarian SimTec software. It's fairly minimalist, it's very easy to use. It does have everything that most people would want, and yeah, I find it quite good to use. So when you put the wheel on, whether you've got SimHub open or the Bavarian software open, whichever one takes control of the COM port on the wheel first is the one that you'll use. So if you want to use Bavarian SimTec software and you also want to use like butt kicker or base shakers, just turn this off here and the Bavarian software can then grab the COM port and do the lighting and effects. So to begin with, we've got the brightness for everything. I found that at full brightness it's perhaps a little too bright for me, so I have it down to about 40%. I find that's quite a nice setting. So I'll turn it up a little bit further so you can see the lighting a little better. And now let's go and look at the animations. The pit limiter, you can have it set to subtle, which just lets the pit limiter button flash, or you can, I have it set to disco because it makes all of them, all the lights flash blue, just like the Daniel Newman software. So I do have it on that. Flashes, when you flash your lights, this sets the wheels lighting off by either flashing just the button for the lights or the button and flags. So the flags on the side of the LEDs, they will flash with it. The rest of it is self-explanatory. This is quite cool. When you start the engine, I have this on because when you start up, it'll make all the lights flicker. It's I like it. I'm a bit of a nerd like that. Encoder animation. This lets you know when you have adjusted something. So when I do the thumb encoder up or down, it does that little animation. And then flags. It'll just, these are for showing you the flags when you're racing. So pretty simple, but everything that I'd want is in there. CT, this is the cloud telemetry. This is to do with the beam tech. Every time they add a car to it for the wheel to recognise, this will just stay up to date. Now let's go to wheel config next. So here we have the device name, the firmware that I'm on at the moment. That's the latest firmware. I've done 7,600 total shifts and I've been on it for 174 hours. It shows you how much I like this wheel. I don't want to take it off. I haven't even been doing any rallying since I got this wheel because I don't want to take this off. So, pulse code duration. When you out of the box, I think it's set to 50 milliseconds. And what that'll do is when you do a single click, sometimes it'll do a double on you. So that's why they added this, so that you can pick the milliseconds. The cube wheel does that as well. So I have it set to 100 milliseconds, and it'll never do a double shift, but it'll still react nice and fast to if I want to do multiple clicks. Multi-selector, that is to do with the bottom rotary. So to change between each parameter, you press it and turn, and then without pressing it, that'll adjust that parameter. If you invert it, I'll show you it. Inverting this means that you don't have to press it to cycle through the different settings. But then if you want to adjust them, you have to hold it down and rotate it. So I just have that set to default. Now the thumb link means if it's on, that means that each mode set on here translates to a different thumb encoder function. If you have it disabled, this just becomes a regular rotary. That's one of the big features of this wheel that is really useful. So I don't think many people would have it disabled, but the option is there. The rest of the settings are all to do with the clutches, and because I don't have the advanced version, I haven't got those extra paddles, but this is where everything is for that, for calibrating and adding dead zone to your clutches. Now let's take a look at the colour profiles. These are, if I click this filter, these are Bavarian's own lighting configurations, the default ones that you can cycle through. Some of them are really nice. Let's just take a look at a few of them. That's Tropical Breeze, that's Vaporwave, Sunset, Jungle, Rainbow, Twilight, that's nice. Miami. And then if you untick this filter, then you'll get to see other people's creations. Let's just have a click. There's lots of them, so let's just click on a few of them. Some of them are quite nice. Yeah, so you get the idea. You can you spend all day in here, you can create a new profile, give it a name, and then you can start from scratch and do your own. And that's everything for Bavarian's own software. Now, once you want to go and use SimHub, make sure you close the Bavarian SimTec software so that SimHub can grab the wheel and do its own lighting, take control of the lighting. So you just tick that to enable it. Now I am using the Daniel Newman latest profiles here, version 5.2. And here is the Daniel Newman plugin down the side. So if you click on that and then click on the wheel, there is a selection of themes here. Some of them are quite nice, some of them are quite basic. But let's go further along. Purple looks quite nice, nice and subtle. So Arctic, Sunset, Rainbow. Really like the Rainbow. It's quite similar to the Bavarian sort of rainbow one that they do. Tokyo looks quite nice. Bit of purple, bit of blue, bit of pink. And the Gulf colours there, that looks pretty good. The one I like best is the Daniel Newman one itself. Looks really nice, and you've got the animations there whenever you tweak anything. And yeah, this is it. So you can modify it from here, but yeah, by default, the pit limiter, when you enable it, everything flashes blue. Everything that you would expect from if you've used Daniel Newman's profiles on SimHub before, you'll get with this wheel. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not very good at configuring my own profiles on SimHub, so I'm kind of lazy because it's too much to learn. I've tried it and I just I can't do it. You know, the amount of time you must put into this, yeah, it's much better to just use Daniel Newman's profiles for me. But if you can make your own and have all these functions going, then definitely mad respect to you for being able to do that, because it's beyond me. And that's it for SimHub, really. You know, if you know SimHub, you'll know it's got tons of features, and getting the most out of all your devices. You know, you really need to know what you're doing, and I don't. So yeah, I'll be sticking with the Daniel Newman profile for this. So it's conclusion time, and I want to just cover any negatives. Now, I've only got one negative, and I have tried to be nitpicky on this, but the only negative that I've had with this wheel is I did have some EMI issues, like random call sign explained in his review of the wheel. What that is that it was plugged into the PC, and I was using an extension lead to make it reach, and it started to disconnect and reconnect here and there. So I moved it over to a powered USB hub, so it was away from the majority of the cables, and it still did it. So basically, I was using an extension, a 1 meter extension, and it wasn't a particularly good USB cable. It was just something that I had lying around, and it didn't have any of these little ferrite cores in. So these, you can get a bag of 15 of assorted sizes from Amazon, and they're dead easy to use. So I picked up a decent USB cable, the Sabrent one, 1 meter long, and then you just open these up, clamp them over the cable, make sure it's close to the plug end, put one on each side, and that was it. It was sorted. I'm surprised I haven't had issues before with EMI, because there's so much stuff, including haptics, that's plugged into this rig as it's got bigger over time. So yeah, I've been lucky not to have that issue before. So that's all you need to do. Get a good quality USB extension, keep it as short as you can, and just I've put these on all my cables now, because I should have done it before, basically. And that's it for the negatives. Conclusion, I love this wheel. I really love this wheel. I think what they've made here is just, for me, it's perfect. I love the aesthetics. The grips are just phenomenally comfortable. It's just so natural to hold and completely stopped my hands from hurting. I've used this a lot now since it arrived, and comfort, I'd be surprised if there's anything more comfortable out there. Next thing, the lighting. They've done an absolutely exceptional job with the lighting. The way it's all diffused without any light bleed between any of the digits on the rotaries. Yeah, you can't see the individual bulbs. Its lighting is fantastic. Buttons feel really nice, nice and tactile. It works perfect with SimHub. You can do so much with SimHub that it's overwhelming. The thumb encoders, they're the best I've felt on any wheel so far. And I'd say the same with the rotaries. They've got minimal wiggle in the centre between you moving them. And same with the funky switches. They're nice and tight. There's less wiggle in the centre than there is on well, all the other wheels that I've got. And feature-wise, I thought it was going to take a while to get used to the functions on this, and it's pretty quickly become muscle memory now. Now I've done a few races. Yeah, I don't really have to think when I want to adjust using the bottom rotary, because I can remember what I've set to everything. And yeah, that's it. Don't know what else I can say really. Oh, the shifters, I've dampened them. And they sound awesome now, nice and quiet. And they feel, now that I've dampened them, they feel almost identical to the BB Ultra from Sim Racing Bay. And they're some of the nicest shifters I've felt. You know, they are amazing, and these feel just like them now that I've dampened them. So that's it. I think I've covered everything. And so I'll put a link in the description for their website. It's not an affiliate link or anything. It's just so that you can, you know, if you want to go and have a look. And yeah, that's it. I'm absolutely loving it. And this is now my permanent wheel. Right. Take care, guys. See you later.